Thank you, Honorable Speaker, honorable members of the Parliament. The bill before us is a draft resolution from the International Criminal Court, which was adopted by the International Criminal Court in Rome on 17th of July, 1998, and is about the provisions and exemptions of the International Criminal Court in New York. It is a draft resolution adopted on 10th of September 2002. It is about the provisions and exemptions of the International Criminal Court in Rome, which was adopted on 26 September 1998. It was adopted in July 1998. Subsequently, the International Criminal Court began its operation in 2002. This was the time when the Convention on Fundamental Rights came into force. The Convention on Fundamental Rights can only be enforced in the event of a crime committed at this or that time, such as genocide, humanity, anti-crime, war crimes, and later punishment for aggression. Hungary was an active participant in the preparatory work of the International Criminal Court. There were more than 60-70 countries, mainly EU member states, who made significant efforts during the founding. In June-July 1998, when negotiations on the establishment of the court and the adoption of the Rome Statute took place, Hungary also took part in these negotiations. Finally, we took part in the decision on the adoption of the Rome Statute together with 126 other countries. The fact that neither the United States, nor the People's Republic of China, nor Turkey were ever a part of the international cooperation, and although Russia later decided to join, there was no way to confirm this. At the end of 1998, the government decree was born here in Hungary, and in January 1999, Hungary signed the Rome Statute. More than 2 years later, in 2001, the Hungarian parliament strengthened this in a resolution. At the same time, the Rome Statute was not a part of the resolution of the parliament until today. This is the reason why this situation seems strange at first, because although the parliament's strengthening resolution was born, in Hungarian law, this will never be announced. Therefore, the legal conditions for Hungary to deal with a request from an international criminal court are not even mentioned. Likewise, the legal conditions for Hungary to deal with a request from an international criminal court are not even mentioned. So I would like to emphasize once again that the Rome Statute is not a part of Hungary's law. However, there is another oddity, that the parliament has to make a decision about the request. If the parliament votes for the bill we have proposed, then the Minister of Foreign Affairs and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs will have the task of informing Hungary of the Rome Statute. There is nothing extra in this, as it is a part of every state. This process must be carried out with the intention of a resolution, and the resolution must be effective after the resolution. Honorable Prime Minister, honorable members of Parliament, I have to tell you that Hungarian foreign policy generally opposes anyone who politicizes the functioning of international organizations. Unfortunately, in recent times, the dangers of this have been given countless examples. It can be seen that if there is a conflict in the world, a conflict between nations, then everyone tries to politicize international organizations in such a way that they can use them for their own political purposes. We have always rejected this. International organizations are never created based on a particular political goal or interest, but rather in order to provide the appropriate platform for international discussions and discussions in the field of a given profession, even for those who are in dispute. Therefore, especially when it comes to the institutions of the UN, this is our point of refutation, because the UN is not a like-minded. That is, it was not created as an integration of countries that think alike, such as the EU or NATO, but as an international organization that, even for countries in the most hostile relationship with each other, needs to provide the opportunity for dialogue, discussion, and solution. Therefore, I would like to emphasize once again that Hungarian foreign policy generally, in every case, rejects the politicization of international organizations. And this is especially true when it comes to international legal institutions, especially international judiciary bodies. We believe that in international legal institutions, international judiciary bodies, they have nothing to do with politics or geopolitical considerations. And from this point of view, dear members of Parliament, in the view of the International Criminal Court, unfortunately, in the recent past, bad, particularly sad processes have begun to cause concern. Serious concerns have been expressed about the impartiality of the operation of the International Criminal Court in relation to the safety of politics. And unfortunately, these concerns have been justified. Unfortunately, it has become clear that the International Criminal Court has been turned into a political tool. This is a sad process. When the International Criminal Court was established, this was not the aim of its founders. In contrast, the operation of the International Criminal Court has changed in a completely different direction. And not only has this institution been turned into a political tool, but it has also lost its prestige, its reputation, and even its seriousness. This happened like a last drop in the cup when it issued an acceptance order towards the end of last year. This was against the Prime Minister of Israel and his former defense minister. Then, when the International Criminal Court realized that they had gone too far with this, they tried to compensate, to counteract, but here too it fell into disrepair, because they issued an international acceptance order against a Hamas leader who died. I believe that this ruling clearly shows that all those who expressed their concerns about the impartial and serious operation of the International Criminal Court have been justified. Honorable President, honorable members of Parliament, Hungary does not wish to take part in the work of a politicized judiciary. Hungary does not wish to be a part of the politically motivated actions of the International Criminal Court in the future. Therefore, I ask the Honorable Parliament to accept our bill and decide that Hungary should leave the International Criminal Court and declare the previously signed Rome Statute. Thank you for your attention.